What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today on this video we'll be solving question 3 of this question paper. Already I have made videos on question 1 and also question 2. If it so happen that you haven't watched those videos, I would advise you to go to this corner here, go and watch those videos. I'll put a playlist of those videos, question 1 and question 2 of this question paper, but you can watch this one and finish it and go to those questions as well. They will not affect the understanding. Anyway, at the end of this video there will be that playlist again if it so happen that you want to watch this one and finish it. There is a playlist, click on that playlist and you can able to watch those questions. Now guys, if you are new on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and also like the videos. Now let's start. So as you can see, this is for mathematics N4, and then this was written on the 28th March 2018, and the time located it was 3 hours. So guys, let's go to question 3, because here we're going to be doing question 3. You have to scroll there. Let's scroll guys, let's scroll. All right, by the way, there is a timestamp. If it so happen that you don't want to do, let's say for example you want to jump straight from this video and watch maybe where I solve 3.4, there is a timestamp below on that video that you're watching. Click on that timestamp, you will see that I allocated these videos according to the questions. All right, let's continue. Let's start with this question here, which is 3.1 on question 3. Okay, now let's read this problem. But what kind of a problem is this one, guys? This is a weight problem. As you can see, this question here, you are given a statement. So let's try to analyze the statement and try to solve it. So what we have here, they say the breadth of a rectangular field is 7 meters less than the length. All right, and then they say the area of the rectangular field is 500 millimeters square. Each side of the rectangular field is then increased by 3 meters. All right, so guys, it's time for us to analyze this. So what we have here, we have the breadth of the rectangular field, which is 7 meters less than the length. Let's stop here and let's try to analyze this. So we have the rectangular field. Let's start by drawing the rectangular field. So let's say this is your rectangular field, and then the breadth, let's say this is the breadth here. All right, so the breadth of this rectangular field, it is 7 meters less, so less than the length. So let's say this one is the length. So the length, we can say the length is x. Let's just write it here. Let's say length is equaling to x, because we don't know what length is. And then let's go back there, and then they say the breadth of the rectangular field is 7 meters less than the length. So if the length is x, for example, if the length is x, the breadth is gonna be 7 meters less. All right, I need to erase this, guys. This means that our rectangular, the breadth is the shortest side, because it's 7 meters less. Okay, right, let's just do it this way. Let's do it this way. I hope it's gonna look okay. Okay, but as long as you can manage to do it in this manner, guys. Okay, all right. Okay, let's continue. So this is what you should write here. Now we also given the area. They say the area of the rectangular field is 500 meters squared. So guys, we know that the area of the field or of the rectangular, usually it's let me just write it here. Area is equaling to length multiplied by the breadth. Okay, we know the length is x and the breadth is x minus 7, so we know that. Then let's continue and read the last part of this paragraph. They say each side of the rectangular field is then increased by 3 meters. Now they want you to determine the value. Let me highlight this, the question. The actual question here, they want you to determine the value of the new area. Basically, they say when each side is increased by 3, what is the value of that area? Remember, before it was increased by 3, the value of the area is 500. Then after, the value of the area is what? That's basically what they are asking there. So this is before we increase each side by 3. So now let's substitute here. We're gonna use the area formula to simplify or to get our side here. Now let's start. We know that area is gonna be 500 meters squared. And then what about length? Remember area is length multiplied by breadth. So length, we can say our length is x. There we go. And then what about the breadth? Breadth is x minus 7. So remember they are multiplying each other here, so you can say x minus 7 here. All right, I hope you guys can see. So from here, guys, we have a function. Do you guys see? We can multiply by x here. Let's just do this. 500. We can say x multiplied by x. We have x squared minus x multiplied by negative 7. We're gonna have negative 7x. So what we do here, we're gonna take this 500 that side. We have 0, and then 500. Oh, sorry, not 500, guys. Excuse me. Then we have 0, then we have x squared minus 7x minus 500. As you can see, this now is in it's a what is it, trinomial. This is a trinomial, guys. Right, now we need to factorize this. As you can see, this is a big number. We have a 7 here, we have a big number here. The best way of doing this, guys, is to use the quadratic formula. So let's use it. So we have x is going to be equaling to negative b plus or minus. Remember the formula of quadratic, guys, is there on your formula sheet, just in case you're not so sure. And then b squared minus 4a over 2a. Okay, over 2a. All right, so this is our quadratic formula. Now we need to know what is b, what is c, and what is a. So the a is a coefficient of let me just write it here. The a, let me write it on top here, guys. We have enough space. The a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1 there, and then the b is a coefficient of x, which is going to be negative 7. Remember, we're taking it from this one here, and then the c is the constant, which is negative 500. Now let's start. So let's start substituting here. Right, so if we substitute here, this is going to be negative, but what is b? Remember, b is negative 7 here. Do not forget, guys. So we put in negative 7. There we go. Right, plus or minus, then square root. Okay, and then we have b squared, meaning we're going to have negative 7 squared. I hope you guys can see. And then minus, and then 4, and then multiplied by a. What is our a? Let me just take it up a bit so that you can see. Oh, take it down a bit. Our a is going to be 1. It's a coefficient of x squared. So this is going to be 1 multiplied by c. What is our c? Our c is a coefficient of, in fact, it's not a coefficient, it's actually a constant, which is 5, negative 500. Now we divide here. Let me create space here. Now we start dividing. All right, let's divide. We're gonna have 2. We're gonna have 2 and then multiply by a. Remember, a is 1, the coefficient of x squared. Right. So this is your this is after substituting, guys. Right. Remember, I know this takes time, guys, but if you really want to understand, you better watch the video. All right, let's continue. Now we have negative multiplied by negative. This is going to give us positive 7. Then we're gonna have plus or minus that. Let me do it this way. Let's do it this way. This is plus or minus. The output to start with plus. Okay, so if we start with plus, this is gonna give us inside the bracket there. We're gonna have, inside the root there, we're gonna have 2049 divided by 2 multiplied by 1, which is going to be 2. So this is when we put plus here. What about when we have negative? So let's do it. When we have negative, it's going to be 7 minus this time around, and then we have 2049 over 2. Remember, this is minus because there we have minus. So let's create more space, guys. More space, because we need to be able to solve this. Let me just take this question below so that you can be able to see it as we are solving it. Okay, now let's see what is our x here. So when we have a positive, our x is gonna give us let's just insert this on our calculator. So I'm gonna pause here so that I can put it in our calculator. Alright guys, so for this one here, if you put this on a calculator, you're gonna get 26,133. So for the other one where we have negative here, when we have negative, it's gonna be negative 19,133. As you guys know, we are calculating for the distance. We don't have we are calculating for a distance. We don't have negative distance, guys. Remember, the length cannot be negative. So this one is invalid. All right. So the right one is this one here. So x, which is the length, let's go up. X, which is equaling to the length. So our length is gonna be 26.11133 meters. Let's not forget meters there. So what about our breadth? So remember, breadth is equaling to, or this I can say is equaling to length. Okay, breadth, remember, it's b and then it's x minus 7. Let's go back and double check again. Remember, breadth is this one here, guys. As you can see, it's bx minus 7. So let's go and do it then. So we know that x, our length, is going to be 26. Going to be 26.133, then minus 7. So what is it that you're going to get? You're going to get 19,133 meters. So this is the length of the breadth here. So the length of the what is this? What do we call it? Actually, it's the length, guys. Okay, this is the length, which is 26, and then this one is the breadth. Okay, I hope this is not confusing for you. So we are done finding the length and the breadth. Now let's see the actual question. Now the question says you must determine the new area when each side of the triangle is increased by 3 meters. So we managed to get to those both sides, but we must increase both of them with 3 meters. Okay, let me just take this question down here. Okay, all right, so let's do it. So we know that area, the formula is still the same, guys. Okay, the formula is still the same. Let me just erase this. We need to write it up there. The length, remember, x is equaling to the length. All right, so the formula for area is length multiplied by the breadth, right? But remember, these sides, they are added by 3 meters now. So we can say the length. What is our length? Which is 26, comma 133. Remember, we are adding it or increasing it with 3 meters, so we're gonna add 3. Then what we do, we multiply, and then we multiply by the breadth. So the breadth is gonna be 19,133. But remember, they said each side, meaning both of them, we wanna add by 3. Then you just put this on your calculator and let's see if you can get the right answer. So the right answer here, if you put this on a calculator, it's going to give you 644,8 meters squared. So this is a new area when we did add the both sides with 3 meters. Guys, this was question 1 for this was question 3.1. So we're gonna be doing question 3.2 after we return from here. Okay guys, so right now we're gonna be doing question 3.2. Let me just erase the highlighter here. So 3.2, let me highlight it for you guys. We'll be doing this question here. This one is really not that difficult, guys. They just want you to make G subject of the formula there. As you can see, I hope you can see this. There is G here. Here is G here, guys. There is G. But let me try to zoom in so that you can able to see G. Let's zoom in. Let me show you G, guys. G. Do you see G? Let me zoom in again. Maybe you will see. If I keep on zooming in, there is G here, guys. Do you see? G is with V. So I hope you can able to zoom in and see. Right, guys. So this is G. So this is what they want us to make such a formula. So let me zoom down. Let me zoom down so that you can have space to write. There we go. Oh, what happened here? There we go. Let me just take it here. Okay, guys, let's write now. Let's write. Right, let me rewrite this question so that we can able to see exactly what we're dealing with. So this question here, which is 3.2. Okay, we have I, then open bracket, and let me just do the nice thing. Let me be nice. Open bracket, and we have e to the power of this is G V over CT plus 1, and then this is equaling to J. So we need to make this G substitute formula, guys. This one here, substitute formula. So the first thing that you must do here, guys, try to divide with I here, so that you can have this, remove this bracket. So if we divide with this I, we're gonna have I, we're gonna have E, we're gonna be left with this E here, and then we have G V over CT plus 1, and then plus 1, and then we have J divided by I. There we go. Then from here we can take this one to the other side, transpose it. So we're gonna be left with only G V over CT, and then we have J. Let me just go back. Then we have J over I minus. Remember, if you take 1 to the other side, it's gonna be 1 minus 1. So from here we can introduce the natural log. I think we should introduce the natural log, but you can also introduce the standard logs. But let's introduce the natural log because of this thing. So if we introduce the natural log here, we're gonna have natural log, then we have exponent GV over CT. This, what you do on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side, guys. We also need to introduce the natural log here. Then we're gonna have J over I minus 1. There we go. So we have to use the rule from logs. We take this to the other side. Remember this rule here. Let me just write it on this side, guys, so that you can remember this rule from logs. When we have log, let's say we have to the log base 10 to the power of 2, we can take this 2 to the other side, which is going to be 2 log x. This is the same rule. It also applies on the natural logs, guys, the Neperian logs, by the way. So if we have log, let's say a squared, you can also write it like that. You can say, you take these 2 here, and then you have 2 natural log a. Guys, natural logs and the standard logs, they are all the same. They have the same principles. They might have different bases, but they have the same principle, guys. So let's take this exponent to the other side. So when we do that, this is going to be gv over ct. Right, so we left with natural log e. Then this one, this side, we don't do anything. It's fine like that. So this is going to be natural log. And then we have j over I minus 1. There we go. There we go. So I need to create more space, guys. Let's create more space so that we can continue and do this one here. Okay. Now, there's something that you need to know about natural logs. When you have natural log, then e, the answer is 1. This is similar with log base 10, 10. The answer is 1 because the base of natural log is e, right? So go and check your natural logs on your textbooks. You'll see that is 1. So meaning here, we have natural log e, we're going to be left with g v over ct. And then we're going to be having the same thing here as we continue here over I, j over I, p, j over I minus 1. Right. So what do we do here? We cross multiply. So let me just keep on creating space, guys. I'm gonna keep on dropping this as well. All right, let's keep on dropping that as well. Okay, so let's continue. So if you cross multiply, this is gonna multiply that side. So we're gonna left with gv, and then ct multiplied by natural log, then we have j over I minus 1. All right, so because we are making G7 formula, this is going to be G is equal to C T natural log. All right, guys, so we multiply it by CT, so we're gonna have natural log, then J over I, let's not forget this is J, minus 1. Right, then we divide by V. If we divide by V, we're gonna be left with only G here, and then what you do on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side. So this is gonna be V. So this is your final answer to get your what is this, your to make G7 formula. I hope, guys, this was not too much. This is basically how many marks? 3 marks. Okay, I know it looks like it's too much, but it looks like this because I'm explaining everything here, guys. If you don't understand this question, or if there's somewhere that you miss out, you can just rewind and rewatch the video, that part that you didn't understand. Okay, guys, we are done with 3.2. It's time for us to do the other question. All right, guys, let's do question 3.3. Now I'll highlight it. This is 3.3. Now here they want you to solve the unknown if you are given this expression here. So guys, here you need to apply some sort of you need to introduce some logs or natural logs. Right, so let me just write it there. So the problem that we have, which is 3.3, okay, let's introduce, let's rewrite it. So it's gonna be 5 2x plus 2. This is the exponent, by the way. This is equaling to 4, then exponent x minus 1. Look guys, it was going to be easier if the base are the same. We're not going to introduce any logs or natural logs, but since the base are not the same, it's time for us to introduce the natural log. So let's introduce the natural log on both sides. So if we do introduce natural log here, and then we have 5 to the power of 2x plus 1 plus 2 is equaling to, which do on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side. Again, natural logs, this side you must introduce it, x minus 1 exponent. Right, so this is what you should do. But then from here, the next thing that you must do now is to apply the law where we take the exponent to the front. Okay, so let's do it. I did explain it when we were solving the 3.2, so I'm not gonna explain it again. Okay, so let's do it. So this is gonna be 2x plus 2 multiplied by natural log 5, right? And then this is gonna be x minus 1. Remember, we're gonna take this one as well to the front, guys. Name minus 1, then natural log 4. All right, so guys, as you can see, now it's easy for us to solve it. Remember, natural log 5 and natural log 4, these are just numbers, guys. Okay, these are just numbers, so you can treat them as numbers. So what we should do is divide by one of the natural logs here. Oh, by the way, you can use the standard logs that you are used to here as well. You're gonna get the very same answer as the one that I'm gonna get here. But anyway, let's just divide by natural log 4. Can we divide by natural log 4? If we divide by natural log 4 both sides, and divide by natural log 4 this side as well, this one here we're gonna have 2x plus 2, 5 divided by natural log 5 divided by natural log 4. What are we going to get there? We're gonna get the following: 1,6. Is it 1,16? It's 1,161 equaling to natural log 4 divided by natural log 4. This is gonna be 1, guys. So we're gonna be left with x minus 1, right? So from here we multiply, we try to remove this bracket, we multiply everything inside the bracket with 1,161. So let's do it. So if we do that, we're gonna have 2, 3 to 2x plus this one here is gonna be 2, 3 to 2 equaling to x minus 1. So if we take x to the other side, we transpose it, this is going to be 2, 3, 2, 2 minus x. And then this time around, we take this 2, 3, 2, 2 to the other side. Remember, we do have negative 1 here. We left with negative 1. And this is going to be negative as well. It's going to be negative 2, 2, 3, 3. All right, let's continue. So, oh, I forgot x here. Just do this. I almost forgot the x, guys. It's very simple to forget the x, guys. Okay, just write it here. It's gonna be 2, 3, 2, 2, then x. Right, now we're fine. So this 2, 3, 2, 2x minus x. What is it that you're going to get here? We're gonna get positive 1, 3, 2, 2, then x. And then here, these ones, if you put them on the calculator, negative 1 minus 2, 2. Oh, I swapped again here, guys. Swapped here again. This is 3, 2, 2x. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it's simple to make mistakes here, guys. Okay. especially when we're dealing with decimal numbers. We have -1 minus 2 comma 322x. So the answer is going to be -3 comma 322, and then we divide by 1 comma 322 both sides. Let's just do it. 1 comma 322, and also we do the same thing here. 1 comma 322. Right, let's create more space, guys. More space. So this is gonna give us x, and that is gonna give us negative 2 comma 513. So this is your answer for 3.3. I hope you guys managed to understand this question, because it can be challenging. The thing that you were supposed to do here, it was to actually change or introduce natural log. Let's just go back there. It was to introduce natural logs here. Okay, I hope you guys understood this question, and I hope you can able to do it next time when you do this one. All right, guys, we are done with question 3.3. Now let's go and do the next question. All right, guys, now let's do 3.4. Now let me highlight it here. 3.4 is this one here that you see. Now what is it that they want here? They give you the impedance of the circuit is given by this equation here. ZT is equaling to Z2 over Z3 plus Z1. So they say to calculate Z total if Z1 is equaling to 2 plus J3, Z2 is equaling to 3 plus J4, and then Z3 is equaling to 5 minus J4. And then they want you to leave in the answer in a polar form. So this is very important, guys. All of this is very, very important. Now let me just go back so that you can able to see this question. Let me just highlight the things that are important. First of all, they want you to leave the answer in polar form. Okay, and then 2, they give you your Z1, able to see Z1, Z2, and Z3. And 4, you have the equation there that you must use. So how do you gonna do this problem here? All right, let's start. So first of all, let's rewrite this question, which is gonna be 3.4. So 3.4, we are given Z total. So Z total. Oh, by the way, this is given to us with this is a rectangular form, guys. Just in case you didn't know, this is a rectangular form. So it's given in a rectangular form. We know that Z2 over Z3 plus Z1. Okay, now let's rewrite this Z total. So wherever there is Z2, we just substitute with this one here, guys, Z2. So Z2 is on the numerator, which is going to be 3 plus J4. Remember, J is another way of representing the imaginary number. Okay, and then what about the denominator? We have Z3 plus Z1. So Z3, if you look here, it's just put it in the bracket. Z3 is 5 minus J4 plus, right? Plus Z1. So Z1, you put it in the bracket as well. It's gonna be 2 plus J3. Okay, so this is how you do this one, guys. This is how you do this one. I hope you can able to see. Now, first of all, the numerator there's nothing we can do. We just leave it like that. And then on the denominator, let's remove the brackets. Can we remove the brackets on the denominator? because this is plus, so the brackets we can just remove them. So we're gonna have 5 minus j4 plus multiplied by 1 here, so it's gonna be 2 plus j3. There we go. Now let's continue. Z total, close here. Z total. Guys, I know some of you are doing mechanical. Don't be intimidated by the jargon that they use here. This is electrical stuff, by the way. But if you remember the complex numbers, this is, you're gonna use what we know with complex numbers when it comes to math. So I know this can be intimidating, especially when you read the question there. Right, divided by, now let's look at our denominator here. We have a real number which is 5, and we also have a real number which is 2, so they are both positive. They're going to give you 7, so when you add them. And then we have imaginary number which is 4 here, negative 4, and we have a real imaginary number which is going to be positive 3. So negative 4 minus plus 3 is going to give you minus j. Okay, now from here I want you to pay attention, because that's where I lose lots and lot of people here. Here you have to multiply by the conjugate. Remember guys, the conjugate of for example, let's say the conjugate of 1 minus maybe 2j, or the conjugate of this is gonna be, remember this is z, the conjugate of this, which is z, is bar z, it's 1 plus, so we change the sign of the imaginary number, guys. Okay, for the conjugate we only change the sign of the imaginary number, so we're gonna multiply by the conjugate, but those conjugate must give us 1, so meaning we must change this and say 7 plus j. Remember, this is the conjugate of the denominator. Divide by 7 plus j. 7 plus j over 7 plus j, this is 1. All we are doing here is to multiply with the conjugate. This is similar to rationalizing. Right, so let's look at the numerator. When you look at the numerator, let's do the multiplication. You say 3 multiplied by 7 is going to give us 21. All right, and then you say 3 multiplied by j is going to give us plus j3. Okay, and then we come to this one. j4 multiplied by 7 is going to give us plus 28. Let me double check. Yes, it's going to be 28. Right, and then j4 multiplied by j, this is going to be plus j squared 4. Then we divide there. Guys, let's just divide. Okay guys, this is a difference of 2 squares, so I'm not gonna do the multiplication here, but you can do the foil. You can multiply throughout, but I know that this is gonna be 49 because it's a difference of 2 squares, guys. The first one is negative, the second one is positive, so it's a difference of 2 squared minus j squared. But you can do the multiplication, guys. You can do the multiplication if you feel like something is missing here. So let me create more space for us, guys, so that we can able to continue and solve this problem here. Right. All right, so what you need to know, guys, is the fact that we have j squared. What does j squared mean, or how can we deal with j squared? So let me just remind you very quickly, guys, about j squared. J squared, guys, it's j squared. If you still remember from our lessons, or from your, you can go to your book there, guys, and check. If you remember though from our lessons, or you can go to your book again, we know that j squared is equal to, here, j squared is equal to -1, or I squared. Imaginary, remember j stands for imaginary, so it's gonna be -1 when it's squared like that. So wherever there is a j squared, we can substitute with -1. So let's continue here. So total impedance, or yes, total impedance. So this is gonna be 21. We are fine with 21, and we have the like terms here. We have 3j plus 28j. That's gonna give us 31j. Okay, and then here we have j squared. So you can do this. You can say minus, because meaning we're gonna have -1 multiplied by 4. So this is gonna be minus 4. Then we divide them, and this is gonna be 49 minus, and then what do we have here? -1. Okay, remember this is j squared minus 1. So that is j squared. So we can continue. Now let's look at our, let's continue guys. Let's look at our numerator there. Let's look at our numerator. Our numerator, we have 21 and -4. Those are like terms. Okay, I hope you can be able to see. So what is 21 minus 4? 21 minus 4, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to give us 17, right? And then here we're going to be left with plus 31j. Okay, divided by, now what do we have here? If we have a 49 minus, this is going to be positive 1. So 1 plus 49, this is going to give us 50. Right, so from here we can continue and divide. All right, this question might take longer because there's a lot happening here, so bear with me guys, bear with me as we solve this one. So we can say total impedance, we have 17 over 50. Remember, they are divided by one denominator. We can separate it this way here, and then we have 31 j divided by 50. It's the same denominator. So what I did here is the same as what we have here, guys, right? So total impedance, we want to get rid of the fractions. So if we do that, this is going to give us 34, oh, 0 comma, not 34 guys, 0 comma 34, 0 comma 34 plus. So what are we going to get for the other one? It's going to be 0 comma 62 j. Okay, you can say j 0 comma 0 comma 62 guys. Okay, so this is the final answer when it is written. But remember guys, they want you to change this to polar form. See this highlight? Change this, give the answer into a polar form. Now in order for us to get the answer in a polar form, we need to calculate the modular. Remember the modular? So the modular is we're gonna use the theorem of Pythagoras. So it's more like the radius, guys, the modular. Okay, it's the real number, by the way. So the modular is gonna be like this. Now theorem of Pythagoras. Now I need to remind you guys that this one here, let me just use a different color. The real number represents x, and then the imaginary number represents y, right? Okay, you don't have to draw the diagram here. They never said anything about drawing the diagram, so we are fine. So we know that it's gonna be 0 comma 34 squared plus 0 comma 62 then squared. Let me just erase this. Alright guys, we need to erase this. It doesn't look good, so let me just erase what is inside here and write what looks good. Okay, remember this is 0 comma 62. Now it looks professional. No, it doesn't look professional. 0.62. Yeah, there we go. Now we are fine. So this is the modulus. So when you put this on your calculator, your modulus is going to be 0.707. Right. Now it's time for us to get the angle. Remember, the polar form notation is like this. It's going to be Z total, just in case you forgot, real number, then the angle here, guys. Okay, so this is the modulus and this is the angle. All right, let's get the angle. Let me just create more space here. More space, guys. We need more space. Okay, let's continue. So the angle, we're gonna use tan theta, which is gonna be equal to, now what is tan? Usually tan is y over x. So where do you know which one is y, which one is x? Remember, the real number, guys, the real number is x and the imaginary number is y. So just substitute them here, which is gonna be 0.62 divided by 0.34. So when you say arctan, remember you have to say arctan to get an angle. Arctan 0.62 over 0.34. 0.34. So the angle that you're going to get here is going to be 61.26 degrees. Guys, there's no need for you to multiply, to minus or add with 180, because we know that if both the imaginary number and the real number are positive, it means they're both happening on the first quadrant. Remember, this is a real number. Real is positive here, and then imaginary, it's also positive. So it's happening on the first quadrant, and the angle on the first quadrant is less than 90. So there's no need for you to minus or add with 180. Okay, so let's try to write it in a way that we can able to represent the point. All right, guys, let's write it. So total impedance in the polar form, we do have our modulus, which is 0.707. That is a real number, and our angle is going to be 61.26 degrees. So this is your final answer, guys. This is your final answer. I hope you managed to understand what we did here. Again, if it so happened that you didn't understand what we did here, you can rewatch the part of this video until you see what is it that you missed there. I hope you do have the basics though, but I hope I managed to explain those basics. So now we're gonna be doing the next question. So let's pause here and then we'll do it after. Alright guys, now it's time for us to do the 3.5. Now let's highlight this question here, which is 3.5. So 3.5, as you can see here, they just said solve for t if you are given this expression here. Now remember, we are still under imaginary or complex numbers. So guys, this at some point will give us an answer with complex numbers. But let's see guys, let's see. Now 3.5, let me write it here. 3.5. So they want you to find t. So we have t squared minus 2t plus 4. This is equal to 0. So how are we gonna do this one? All right, so let's do it using the quadratic formula. Remember guys, we cannot vectorize this. What are the factors of, because we have minus plus here, meaning the factors they must add. The factors of 4, when you add them, they give it to, we don't have them guys. We cannot, we do have them, but we cannot get them in a simple direct factorization. We need to use the quadratic formula. So let's use the quadratic formula here. So quadratic formula, we know that we have negative b plus or minus, then we have b squared minus 4ac, right? This is divided by 2a. All right, so it's time for us to substitute, but before we substitute, let's just write our quotient, the coefficients there. We have a, which is 1, the coefficient of t squared. We have b, which is negative 2, the coefficient of t to the power of 1. Let me just write it here. And then we have c, which is our constant. All right, now it's time for us guys to do substitute here. So let's substitute. So wherever there is b, we have to put the negative 2 there. So it's going to be negative 2 plus or minus. Now we're going to have b squared here, negative 2, then squared, minus 4, and then a. What is a? A is 1, and then c is going to be, what did I put 0 there, guys? C is supposed to be 4. I made a mistake, I put 0 there. I hope you managed to see that one, right? It's gonna be 4. Positive 4, guys, right? C is positive 4. And then we divide by 2. We divide by 2 multiplied by a, which is 1. Right, so when we continue and do this one here, we're gonna have positive 2, negative, and negative. We're going to give it positive, and then let's say plus. Remember, we have plus or minus. Let's start with plus. So if we have plus here, this inside the bracket, inside the root, if you put this inside the root here, your answer is going to be negative 12, right? Don't try to put this, the whole of this on your calculator. You're going to get an error. Your calculator, remember, we have a negative under the square root. It's gonna give us an error, so rather do it the way I'm showing you here, guys. Okay, divided by 2. All right, and the other one here, now we have x, and then is equaling to 2. This time around we have negative, and then we have negative 12 over 2. Remember, this one is when it's positive there, and this one here on the side is when it's negative here. So there's a certain information that I need to add with you guys. Remember, the imaginary number is actually a negative square root, negative 1 under the square root. Let me just write it right. Imaginary number, the I or j, is equal to negative 1 under the square root, guys. Okay, so how can we change this? How can we change this to have that notation? So here's what you can do. You can say x, then we have 2 here plus, and then we can say root, where are we? Just pause here. Alright guys, let's try to write it in a way that we're gonna be able to include this negative 1 under the square root. But we know that we can, let's try to do the 12. We know that 4 multiplied by 3 is gonna give us 12. And then this, we can take it aside, which is multiplied by negative 1. Remember, if you multiply numbers which are under the same root, it's the same as when you multiply them under that root, guys. Okay, if the root is the same, if it's the square root here, the square root there is the same as they are multiplying each other. The reason why I took it there on the side is because we know that this is going to be I or j. Okay, let's continue. This is going to be that. Now we have that is going to be 2. We do the very same thing that we did on the other side, where we have we're going to have 4 multiplied by 3, and then multiplied by, just create more space here, guys. with more space, multiplied by root -1. Okay, this is divided by 2. Okay, now it's time for us to continue. Let me see if we can able to see this. Yes, let's create the space here. Let's keep on creating more space, guys. We need to create more space. We need to create more space. All right, now how are you gonna do this one? Now let's start with the first one here. We have 2 here. Now what is the square root of 4? Plus the square root of 4 is gonna be 2, but inside the root, what are we left with? We're gonna be left with 3. Now, by the way, what is square root -1? This is gonna be IOJ. Okay, there we go. Plus or divided by 2, right? And let's go to the other one here. Okay, it was a bit tricky, guys. I hope you managed to see this. And then same thing here. What is the square root of 4? It's gonna be 2, and inside the bracket you're gonna left with 3, and then multiply by what is -1 on the square root. This is gonna be I over 2. Okay. Now if you continue here, you just create more space here. Okay, all right. Now here we can say x is equaling to 2 over 2. Now we can say, remember they have the same denominator, guys. We can separate them. 3j over 2, and do the same thing this side. We have 2 divided by 2. The denominator is the same, guys. It's 2, so we don't have to worry about that one. Divide by 2 and j or I. So we know that 2 into 2, we're gonna be left with 1 here, and then here, what are we gonna have? 2 into 2, it's 1. 2 into 2, it's 1. Plus, let me just put I here, root 3, and then the other one here, which is gonna be 1 divided by 1, 2 divided by 2, it's 1, and then 2 divided by 2 is also 1, multiplied by j or I, and then root 3. Guys, I hope you managed to see this one. It was a bit tricky at the end here. It was gonna be simple for you to make mistake here, but I'm glad that we managed not to make any mistakes, because it's very simple, guys. So these are the answers for both t. I don't know why I use x, guys. They are looking for t, so please do not forget to just write t here. Let me just erase, guys. They're not looking for x. You see the all habits, it's actually t. Let me just erase it here, guys. It's actually t that they are looking for. Unfortunately, it's gonna take our time, but from here, guys, I hope you can see though what we are trying to do. This is t throughout, guys. T throughout here. T, they're not looking for x, guys, plus t that they're looking for. Okay, right. So this is basically that. So t is gonna be 1 plus imaginary number root 3, t minus imaginary number root 3. I hope this was useful to you guys. If you so happen to understand, you can start this section of this video and then watch this question again. I hope you were able to understand. All right, now we are done with this question, which is 3.5. The last question that we have to do is the one of the conjugate. It's only 1 mark, guys. Let me just do it very quickly. And then we are done with this question 3. So this one here, guys, it's a conjugate, which is 3.6. Do you guys see 3.6 here? They want you to state the conjugate of J3. Guys, remember I did explain the conjugate here. I don't think you really have to worry about this one. I'm just gonna be quick about it. Remember the conjugate, it's gonna be negative J then 3. So you can write it like this if you want to, negative J3. If it's positive, the conjugate is gonna be negative. If it's negative, the conjugate is gonna be positive. That's it. Guys, this is the end of question 3. I hope you understood how we solve majority of these questions. If it so happened that you didn't understand, you can leave a comment on the comment section. And also do not forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm about to upload another video on question 4. So whenever you subscribe, make sure that you click the bell icon so that icon can notify you guys. Okay, it can notify you whenever I upload a new question or a new video. Again, if it so happens some of the questions you don't want to watch and waste your time, there is a timestamp underneath this video. Click on those timestamps. It's gonna show you which question I'm solving, which question I am. It's gonna jump straight to that question that you want to watch immediately. Again, guys, if you so happen didn't watch question 1 and question 2 of this video, they're gonna appear as a playlist at the end of this video. Click on that playlist if you want to watch them in a sequence order. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Till next time, cheers.